Hi, welcome to our math lesson. Today we'll be looking at decimal subtraction. The aim of today's lesson is to learn how to subtract decimals. There are a few vocabulary I want you to take note of. First is the word subtract. It just means taking something away from a group or a number of things. And there are other ways you can use that term subtract. When you use terms like decrease, minus, take away. Now, column is just stacking up numbers vertically so that the digits line up. And a decimal is a symbol, like a dot, used to separate the integer part from the fractional part of a number. So our learning objective is to subtract decimal numbers. And there are three success criteria to help us to do that. First, that you can work out the number that is to be taken away. Second, that you can also align the decimal point in the column. And the third is that you can even subtract, starting from right to left, regrouping if necessary. So how do we go about subtracting 7.122 take away 3.41? Now the first thing I need to do is to stack up the decimal numbers so the decimal points are directly over each other. Now just like here. Now this is what I call the reference mark. And when you do that, you'll see that the units column are aligned, the tenths are aligned, the hundredths are aligned, and the thousands are aligned. Now you can see for this number it's a two-place decimal and there is nothing in this column, so I'll represent nothing with a 0 here like this, and I can now put a line underneath, put my minus sign, and go and start subtracting. Now 2 take away nothing is 2. 1 take away 1 is 0. 1 take away 4, I have to be careful here, I can't do that. So I need to cross over here and borrow a 1. Now this is a 7. If I borrow a 1 from there, 6 remain, and I bring the 1 there, making it 11. So 11 take away 4 is a 7. Now I'm crossing the decimal, so I must put this decimal here. So it's still in the same column. And now I have 6 take away 3 will give me 3. So my answer is actually 3.702. Now, what I want you to do is to pause the video and work out this subtraction. 7.5 take away 4.358. We'll look at the answer in the next slide. How did you do? Now, for a start, you stack up the decimal numbers directly over each other as like this, but the decimal point as a reference mark should be in the same column. So you have 7.5 and we are taking away 4.358. Now you can see that when you do that, the units column are aligned, the decimal points are aligned, the tenths are aligned, the hundredths and the thousands. Now I can see for this top number here, there is nothing in the hundredths and the thousands, so I can represent nothing with 0, 0. So I now have 7.500 and I'm taking away 4.358. When I do that, I start from right. Now 0 take away 8, I can't do that. So I have to come to this column to borrow, but there is nothing there. So what I need to do is to come to the next column. Now there is a 5 here, and I'm going to borrow 1. Now when I borrow 1 from 5, 4 remain. I cannot just bring the 1 over here. I must bring it to the next column first, but I don't need it there. So I will have 10, but if I borrow 1 from there, 9 will remain, and I'll bring the 1 there, making a 10. Now I can do my subtraction. 10 take away 8 is a 2. And in this column, I have a 9, take away 5 is a 4. And in my 10th column, 4 take away 3 is a 1. And 7 take away 4 is a 3. Remember, I'm crossing the decimal here, so I must put a decimal point here as well. So what I now want you to do is to pause the video and go and do some work. You've got work for mild, for medium, and for hot. Now, the answers are there as usual. Do not look at the answers. Please do the work first, and when you're about to mark, then you can look at the answers. If you finish any of these before time, you can challenge yourself and do this other work here. Now, what I want you to do right now is to look at your answers. Just check one that you are really confident in. Now go and call a guardian, and if they are busy, call a sibling and show them how you did your subtraction. Now, just as a reflection, were you able to work out the number that is to be taken away? Were you also able to align the decimal points in a column? Were you even able to subtract, starting from right to left, regrouping if necessary? If you were able to do all those, well done. You can now subtract decimal numbers.